It's a story that has become all too familiar in some parts of the world. Religious leaders who abuse their power think they can get away with murder. Paul Njeri Mwagiru, a self-proclaimed pastor from Kenya, is the latest in a long line of cult leaders facing legal proceedings for abusing their authority and encouraging heinous activities. Mwagiru set up his Good News International Church in 2003, but in the years leading up to its closing in 2019, it seems that the pastor's teachings became more and more extreme. Locals reported his increasingly radical calls for people not to eat, to avoid attending school, to stop seeking medical services, and even for women to stop using cosmetics. He also encouraged followers to go with him to live in a remote area in the Shakahola forest where they were meant to wait for the Lord's return. Shocking reports of the extent of Mwagiru's activities emerged when authorities uncovered the shallow graves of 109 people, mostly children, who had been killed due to Mwagiru's teachings. Reportedly, before their deaths, Mwagiru had convinced them that in order to meet Jesus, they must give up all worldly activities, and many had succumbed to starvation. The news has sent shockwaves throughout the country and beyond. Kenya's leaders have denounced Mwagiru, likening his alleged activities to terrorism, and have spoken against homegrown religious movements that engage in criminal activities. The case has also revealed the dangers of not regulating these cults and the damage that an unchecked religious leader can have. When 16-year-old Isa Ali joined the church when he was just 8, he believed blindly that Mwagiru was trustworthy. But when he started having doubts and tried to break away from the church, he says he was scared into staying by threats and beatings. And his mother, a devoted follower of the church, followed Mwagiru to the forest and was slaughtered there. The details of Mwagiru's case are particularly harrowing, but it is just one example of the hundreds of cults that exist in the world. It is a warning that governments, police forces and communities must work together and be ever vigilant when it comes to protecting individuals from these cults and their leaders. Mwagiru and 8 other suspects appeared in court in Malindi on Tuesday and were transferred to the higher court in Mombasa. They are being charged with terrorism, murder, kidnapping, cruelty towards children, and other related crimes, and will be held in the Shimo La Tewa Maximum Prison, the only prison that can hold terror suspects and some of the most dangerous criminals in the country. Although the overwhelming grief of the victims' families and their communities cannot be completely undone, their story serves as a warning to all who would follow in Mwagiru's footsteps. We must stand together to protect our communities from radical preachers and cults that threaten the safety of individuals at risk. No one should have to fear for their lives due to the teachings of an extremist.